I settled into the chair beside them, crossing my legs, my fingers brushing the edge of my glass. They spoke quietly at first, a little hesitant, then started to find a rhythm. She gasped between her words, his hand steadying her as he helped her relax. His touch was slow, deliberate, full of care. I exhaled, warmth spreading through me as I watched them grow more comfortable with each other. I had planned to stay on the sidelines, but the longer I sat there, the harder it was to resist stepping in. Before we begin, please tap like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. And if you already have, thank you for being here now. Let's get started. I swear I don't even remember what it feels like to be with someone. She sighed, sinking into the couch. I laughed, swirling my drink. That's honestly kind of sad. She groaned. It is. It's been months, maybe even a year. I shook my head. Couldn't be me. I don't think I could go a week without being close to my husband. She rolled her eyes. Yeah, we get it. You won the husband lottery. I smirked. I did, though the man knows exactly how to take care of me. She let out a long breath. Must be nice. I tilted my head, studying her. She looked tired, not just sleepy, but empty, like she'd been running on fumes. Maybe she missed company. Maybe she missed being understood. But I had a feeling it was about more than that. Maybe that's the problem, I said softly. She frowned. What problem? I leaned in slightly. You think you're feeling like this because of your divorce? But maybe you just need someone who knows how to make you feel appreciated again? Her head lifted, eyes widening. Excuse me? I smiled, taking another sip. I mean, you wouldn't have to go far. She blinked. What does that mean? I let the silence stretch before finally speaking. What if I shared a little of what I have? Her breath caught. You're kidding. I just smiled. Later that day, my husband and I lay together, quiet and calm. After a long evening, I stretched, tracing my fingers along his chest, still basking in that steady warmth. Only he could give me. That was amazing, I murmured. He smirked, eyes half closed as always. I let the silence linger, letting the peace sink in. Then I said, she needs this. His brow furrowed. Who, my friend? I said, sitting up slightly. She's miserable, lonely. She just needs to feel seen again. He frowned. Still not understanding, I trailed my nails lightly across his skin, watching his breath shift. And maybe you could help? His body tensed slightly. Wait, you're serious? I nodded. She needs this, and you know how to make someone feel cared for. He exhaled, rubbing his face. I don't know. I leaned in, pressing my lips to his jaw. You trust me, don't you? His fingers twitched at my waist, his grip tightening slightly. I could feel his hesitation and his curiosity. The next morning, I poured coffee as my husband walked into the kitchen, still half asleep. We should invite her over, I said, handing him a mug. He frowned. For what? I met his gaze. To talk. He hesitated. And by talk, you mean... I smirked. You'll see. He exhaled, rubbing the back of his neck, but he didn't say no. That was enough. I sent the text. She replied almost instantly, sure, I could use the company. When she arrived, she looked better, still tired, but lighter somehow. Her eyes were clearer, more curious. We sat down, with coffee in hand. I let the silence settle before speaking. I've been thinking about what we talked about. She gave me a sidelong glance. Maybe. I smiled. She sighed. I mean, I get what you were saying, but it's not exactly easy to just open up again. I leaned in slightly. What if it could be? She frowned. What do you mean? I reached for my husband's wrist, my fingers brushing his skin. Her eyes flickered. Between us, we want to help, I said softly. She blinked. You're serious? I nodded. She swallowed, her gaze shifting between me and him. You trust me, don't you? I asked. There was a long pause, then she set her coffee down. What exactly are you suggesting? I smiled. Let me show you. I led them into the bedroom, my breath steady, my pulse slow and heavy beneath my skin. She followed carefully, still unsure. My husband walked in quietly, his frame tense but calm. I knew exactly what I was doing. I turned to him first, trailing my fingers down his arm, guiding him gently. His breathing deepened as he relaxed under my touch. Then I faced her. She stood still, caught between hesitation and trust. Her lips parted as if waiting for a cue. I smiled, resting my hands on her shoulders. She didn't move away, so I took my time. The air around us changed, softer, quieter, more focused. My husband reached for her hand, moving slowly, reassuring her. She exhaled shakily, leaning into his warmth. I stepped back, sitting in the chair beside the bed, watching the scene unfold, the quiet exchange, the way their energy blended. I crossed my legs, feeling the tension rise gently in my chest. This was what I wanted, to see them connect, to see her trust, to see him offer comfort. His words were soft, his tone gentle. She responded, her breath unsteady, her expression softer now. I shifted in my seat, feeling my own heart race a little faster. This was connection, real, human, and unspoken. Just like that, I said quietly. Take your time with her. He nodded, his focus steady, his movements patient. She leaned back, letting go of whatever tension she'd been holding, the space between them filled with warmth, calm and quiet understanding. I traced slow circles against my thigh, matching their rhythm, feeling the calm pulse through me. She smiled faintly, her eyes closed, her breathing slow. My husband's expression softened, the lines of his face calm and kind. I bit my lip, my breath coming shorter, not from nerves, but from empathy. Watching them was almost too much. Not in the wrong way, but in a way that made my chest ache with something deep and warm. Do you like this? I asked softly. She didn't answer. Not with words, but with a small nod, a quiet sound that spoke for itself. The energy in the room grew thicker, warmer, full of life. I had thought I could just sit there, just observe. But the longer I watched, the more I felt it. The pull, the connection, the heat under the surface that wasn't about desire, but about being seen, being part of something whole. I stood slowly walking closer, letting my fingertips brush along my husband's arm. His breath hitched, his gaze flicking to mine. She turned too, her expression caught between nervousness and curiosity. I smiled softly. Move up, I murmured, brushing my fingers through his hair, guiding him gently back against the pillows. He followed without question, his body relaxing under my touch. Then I turned to her. Come here, I said quietly, my voice steady, warm, full of promise. She hesitated for a heartbeat, then moved closer, her breath uneven. She settled beside him, her posture uncertain at first, then more at ease as he steadied her with his hands. I watched the two of them, the unspoken communication passing between them. Then I climbed onto the bed, positioning myself near him, my hands resting lightly on his shoulders. His breath was warm against my skin, sending a quiet shiver through me. I leaned forward, touching her arm, guiding her with a smile. Just like that, I whispered, you're doing fine. She exhaled, her eyes fluttering closed, trusting me completely. I smiled, feeling her relax beneath my touch, letting the moment guide her. My husband's hand rested gently on my back, grounding me. The room was quiet, full of breath, movement, and unspoken words. It was calm, slow, and impossibly intimate. When the air finally settled, we stayed there, still and warm, surrounded by a quiet peace that needed no explanation. I stretched, smiling softly. She laughed quietly, brushing her hair aside. My husband exhaled deeply, his arm draped loosely across my waist. I turned my head, glancing between them, my pulse still steady, but full. I had wanted to help her, to give her something she was missing, but I hadn't expected how much I would feel, too. And as I looked at them both, I knew one thing for sure. I didn't want this to be the last time. The morning light slipped through the curtains, painting everything in gold. I stretched lazily, still wrapped in quiet comfort. My husband stirred beside me, his arm heavy across my waist. On the other side, she shifted slightly, her fingers brushing my skin as she sighed softly. There was no awkwardness, no regret, just warmth. I turned my head, smiling faintly as I looked between them. Last night had been about helping her, but it had done something for all of us. I'd told myself it was just for her, just to help. But now I wasn't so sure. Maybe this is something only the brave would ever try. Or maybe some things are meant to stay quietly between the hearts that understand them. Let me know what you think in the comments. I want to hear every perspective, and if you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's next.